guys, so today I'm actually gonna make Motogo, which is a porridge from Botswana. So I realized that sometimes when I miss home, it helps to have food from home. But then the hard part is that the food from home isn't always available. And so I'm trying to like improvise and figure out ways that I can make food that gets somewhat close to food like home. But you know, you guys be the judge and let me know if what I've made actually looks like what you might be familiar with. So Motogo is it's made out of sorghum, and typically when you buy it in Botswana it comes ground, so it's kind of like milled into a really fine powder and then you cook it into a porridge. However, when I tried to get it here in California, the only thing I could find was the actual sorghum grains. So I'm gonna show you how I transformed this into the powder and then transform that into a porridge. So here goes. I'll use just 1 cup of the sorghum because I'm experimenting, and then I will blend it in a regular blender. Actually never done this before, so wish me luck. This might take a while. So this is what it's starting to look like. It should definitely be a little more powdery than this. Right now, there's a combination of like powder and grain. I actually just want it to be all powder. So I'm gonna grind it a little more and then we'll see how it turns out. So I actually ended up switching and using a different blender. Just because I got tired of holding the other one down for it to blend. This is a Magic Bullet standard blender. The consistency I got out of it wasn't quite what I would get if I bought this directly in Botswana, but it's close enough and I think we can make this work. So it's a fine powder. Yeah, I think that could work. It's close enough. So what I'll do next is I'll show you how I then make the porridge. So right here I have a standard pot and I boiled some water in advance. So I actually never know how much water to add, but let's just assume that for a cup of porridge I'll need 2 cups of water. Right? If I end up needing more water, I'll add more. The key thing though is making sure that if I add additional water that it's boiling. All right, so water is boiling. In Botswana we use a whisk. This is called lefetho. However, I brought this from Botswana and I do realize that a lot of people might not have this. So what I'll do is I'll actually just make it with a standard American whisk. And just to show you how you would replicate this process if you were making this at home. So here's my powder. So what I'll do as the water is boiling, I'll just reduce the temperature. Reduce the heat so that the bubbles are not as like vigorous. And then I'll slowly add the powder into the water while simultaneously whisking it. There are several benefits to sorghum. Number 1 is that it's very rich in nutrients. It's got a lot of B vitamins. It's really good for your metabolism. So the B vitamins that like help with your metabolism. It's really good for your skin and your hair. It's a really good source of magnesium, which is really important for bone formation. Bone formation is something that we don't think about much when we're young, but like as we get older, kind of the bones, the ability for our bones to remain stronger is really important. It's high in antioxidants. I'm sure we've heard all the rage about antioxidants. It provides like up to approximately 20% of all the fiber you need in a day. So it's really good for weight management and for maintaining your sugar levels. It's also gluten-free, which is really good for people that have celiac disease. It's also really delicious. Basically, it's a pretty impressive grain. What I'll do now is I'll lower the heat. I'll just give it a little bit of a stir. Lower the heat and then cover that for 15 minutes. So cooking time is not that long, which is really good for, like, you can probably prepare the, like, grind the actual powder in bulk and then, you know, save it, and then when you're ready to eat in the morning, you just kind of whisk it up. So that's a porridge. I literally didn't touch it for the 15 minutes it was cooking. I think, yeah, so I'll just give it a stir. This is a little on the thicker side, which is fine. Ideally it would be a little more runny, but this is okay because I'm gonna enjoy it with some milk and sugar. So yeah, this is what the final output looks like. This is really, really delicious. It's whole grain. It's got all the things, all the nutrients. And this is basically what children grow up on in Botswana. I will plate it